Okay, hi boys and girls. I'm going to start reading chapter 9, and I was going to do the whole shebanger in one, but I think it's going to be too long, so I'm going to do it in two parts. And I cannot stop sneezing. My allergies are like going crazy, so I hope I can make it through this. Last time we read, Ralph and Garth came up with a plan to put the watch in the girls' bathroom, or maybe her dorm or something, her cabin. That way she'll find it and she'll know that Garth never had it. Okay? So, chapter 9, part 1, A Dangerous Plan. Okay. I'm a failure, Ralph told himself, as the bird chorus announced the dawn and a rooster crowed down by the barn. I'm a miserable, rotten failure. Ralph had returned to his perch in the bamboo after a night he spent hurrying, scurrying, and worrying. Every building at Happy Acres Camp was built on ungnawable, mouse-proof concrete. Every screen door was above a cliff-like concrete step. The watch still lay hidden in the bamboo leaves. Garth would soon learn that his name was not to be cleared after all, and Ralph would not get his motorcycle back. Drat, he swore to himself. Drat, drat, drat. He felt especially bad because Garth actually had left a quarter of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich at the foot of the bamboo for his supper the night before. Ralph was about to climb down the bamboo to hide from Garth when the alarm clock rang, and the bugler stumbled out to rouse the sleeping camp. Campers washed their faces at sinks outside their lodges, and then, before they went to breakfast, the girls carried their sleeping bags out to air. Some draped their unzipped bags on fences. Others, including Karen, spread theirs on the grass in the sun in the girls' area. Why, here's my chance after all, thought Ralph in wonder, as a plan, simple but dangerous, sprang into his mind. After noticing that Ketso was sitting expectantly by the kitchen door waiting to be fed, Ralph leapt to the ground and found the watch under the bamboo leaves. Seizing it by the buckle on the leather strap, he began the labor of dragging the watch towards Karen's sleeping bag. The watch was heavier than Ralph had remembered. He pulled and strained and managed to tug it across the gritty path to the craft shop and into the shelter of the grass. The watch slid more easily through the grass, and Ralph soon learned to choose the smoothest way, avoiding clots of dirt and prickly weeds. The campers finished breakfast and came bursting out of the dining hall. Ralph toiled on, pulling the watch towards Karen's sleeping bag, a fraction of an inch at a time, knowing that Garth must be searching for him by the bamboo. Ralph began a long, hard detour around a fallen walnut and hoped that sometime Garth would at least know he had tried, even if he might not succeed. Suddenly, the fur along Ralph's spine began to prickle, and he froze in his tracks. Catso! The hunter's eyes of the cat had caught the movement of the grass. Ralph crouched motionless beside the watch. Catso slung close to the ground, moving so quietly he seemed to flow through the grass. Only the tip of his tail twitched. Ralph knew that trying to run was useless. Running would only make the hunt more interesting for Catso and prolong the misery for Ralph. Catso stopped and waggled his hindquarters experimentally, as if he were trying to find the most efficient position for pouncing. Hi, Ben.
I'm gonna scooter.
Okay, where was Lana? Ralph's life passed before his eyes. His family mouse nest back at Mountain View Inn, his mother and Uncle Lester, and all his brothers and sisters and cousins. The boy who had given him the motorcycle that had changed his life, the cage in the craft shop, Chum, Garth. Catso crouched even lower and waggled his hind quarters, once more in preparation for the pounce. Ralph's eyes were distracted from Catso by Sam, who trotted purposely across the grass. If one doesn't get me, the other will, thought Ralph, as he tried to shrink even smaller behind the watch. Surely a dog would not want to crunch a watch between his teeth. Sam growled deep in his throat. Distracted Catso stopped waggling and glared at Sam. Get me in trouble, will you? Growled Sam to the cat. Catso stood up, arched his back, and appeared to double in size. See here, Sam, he hissed. I'm supposed to exterminate pesky mice. Not this one, growled Sam, advancing. He belongs here, and you got me in trouble by letting him escape. Is that so? Catso hissed back as he swiped at Sam's nose with an evil clawed paw. What about me? I'm unjustly accused of eating him. And what are you up to now? Demanded Sam, and with that question he snapped at Catso, who turned his back and with his tail proudly erect stalked off towards the craft shop, before he suddenly remembered he had not washed lately. While Catso sat grooming his toes, Sam eyed Ralph with interest. You're a busy little fellow, he remarked, not unkindly. First a motorcycle, now a wristwatch. He thought a moment before he said, Say, where did you get that watch? You didn't happen to steal it, did you? No, you couldn't. You're too little. That's right, I'm too little, agreed Ralph. But Catso stole it, and I'm trying to return it to its rightful owner. He told Sam the whole story, explaining why Garf could not return the watch. Sam glanced at Catso and growled, but Catso merely paused in washing his left hind foot to look disdainfully at Sam, who then said to Ralph, You're pretty little to be pulling that watch over this rough ground. Maybe I can help you out. Here, let me take it for you. Ralph trembled to see the great snout coming close. He crept away from the watch and stared fascinated as Sam delicately picked up the leather strap in his teeth and trotted over to Karen's sleeping bag, where he dropped the watch on the flannel lining. Ralph crept closer. Thank you, Sam, he said, genuinely grateful for the big dog. It was all in the line of duty, said Sam. Still, one thing bothers me. Boys don't come into the girls' area. But couldn't a boy throw a watch over here? A boy could stand on the other side of the fence and toss a watch into a sleeping bag. Or on top of it, onto the sleeping bag. I'm not sure Garf's name will be cleared when Karen finds the watch. I never thought of that, admitted Ralph, but give me a little time and I can take care of it. He scurried over to the watch and began to gnaw a hole in the fabric of the sleeping bag. Garf might be able to throw a watch, but he couldn't gnaw a hole. Sam settled himself with his nose on his paws to guard Ralph. Ralph used his sharp teeth so efficiently that he soon had a hole in the dry and tasteless lining. He waded into the stuffing, dragging the watch behind him. You all right in there? Asked Sam. Of course I'm all right, answered Ralph, shoving the stuffing aside to make room for the watch. The stuffing was softer than the most finely shredded Kleenex. It was softer than nylon stockings or pillow feathers or any other soft thing Ralph had experienced at the inn. Then I'd better be on my way, said Sam. I still have the barn to inspect. Ralph popped his head out of the hole in the sleeping bag. Thanks a lot, Sam, he said. You saved my life. I really mean it. The watch band still protruded from the hole, so Ralph crawled back inside and tucked some more until he was sure it was safely out of sight. There, when Karen climbed into her sleeping bag that night, she was sure to feel a lump, investigate, and discover her missing watch in a place where Garf could not have hidden it. The stuffing was deliciously soft, and Ralph was tired after a sleepless night. I've got to get out of here before rest time, he told himself, but part of him answered, Go on, take a short nap, only a minute or two. Rest time is a long way off, and you need some sleep. The stuffing was soft and cozy. The sounds of the camp were muffled, and Ralph was tired. The next thing Ralph knew, the sleeping bag was moving. He heard the swishing sound of a long zipper being closed, and he felt himself being lifted. Then a screen door slammed. The sleeping bag was set down, and a pair of hands smoothed it. Drat, thought Ralph. Now I've done it. He heard the muffled sound of boots being thrown on the floor. The cot beneath him heaved, and a sudden weight seemed to flatten Ralph, even though he was cushioned by the stuffing. Okay, so now Ralph is stuck in the sleeping bag, and I'm going to stop there, and I will finish chapter 9 tomorrow. Okay, thank you so much predict what you think will happen. Do you think he's going to get stuck in there forever? Let me know what you think. Oh, and I wanted to tell you, I looked up the word stodgy, and it means like boring, uninteresting. So, new vocabulary word for you. I hope you don't think my reading is stodgy. How's that? Okay, bye guys. Miss ya.